We've got less than 2 weeks to go in this election, and we've been telling you how close it is. Historically close. Closer than ever. But here's a question. What if it's not? All right, CNN senior data reporter Harry Enton is here. And as close as it is,
yes, sir,
and we do believe it's super close right now, that also means that if things change even just a little bit, it's not really close.
It isn't. So we have been talking about the idea that there's going to be a historically close election. I think I might have said it on this particular program. But in fact, will the winner get at least 300 electoral votes? The answer is majority yes. There's a majority yes chance, 60% chance, that the winner of this election gets at least 300 electoral votes versus just a 40% chance that the winner ends up getting less than 300 electoral votes. So for all the talk that we've had about this election being historically close, which it is, chances are the winner will still actually score a relative blowout in the Electoral College.
Oh my God, you're making my hair hurt. Boom. How can it be that it's so close, but yet still more likely than not that it's a fairly big victory in the Electoral College?
Yeah, so let's take a look at that poll.
Everyone keeps talking about how close this race is. The race is close. It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. Everyone keeps saying this. Is it true? Is it not true? I'm going to get ready to break it down very, very quickly. Do you believe in what everybody is saying, that the race is close?
We know this election is going to be tight because a lot of Americans are still struggling.
Well, I don't think the race is going to be close at all, and here's why. So, first of all of this video is somewhat of an oxymoron in relation to the news anchors and analysts, and they know this. This is the reason why they explain the video the way that they did. One moment, they say the race is close, and then the next moment, they say there's a higher than 50% chance that whoever wins the election, it's going to be a blowout. Specifically, the winner is going to have over 300 electoral votes. So if there's more than 50% chance that it's going to be a blowout, 60% chance to be exact, that's somewhat going to win by a blowout, then that means that the race is actually not close. It means that it appears to be close based upon the data, how we interpret the data, and our perception of it. So before I get into who I know is going to win, what that looks like, and the type of path to victory, let's get into why they are saying it's a close race and why it's definitely not. I went over this somewhat already in my other videos, but I'll go over it a little bit right here. According to the political aggregators, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are pretty much neck and neck based upon the polls. Some of the polls as of right now, most of them, have Trump slightly up. Other polls have it a deadlock, and other polls have even Kamala slightly up. But it's deadlock for the popularity. But this means absolutely nothing. Why? Because we don't base the election off of popular votes. We base the election off of the electoral college within each individual state. So last election, Biden was up in the polls towards voting day by 8% and as high as 9% during the campaign. Biden did not win the popular vote by 8 or 9% based upon the polls. He won the popular vote by slightly over 4%. So the polls exaggerated for Democrats by 4% popularity-wise, but nevertheless, still Biden won the election, getting over 300 electoral votes. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was up in the polls towards voting day by just under 4% and as high as 7% during the campaign. Hillary also did win the popular vote by just over 2%. But Trump wound up winning that election by getting over 300 electoral votes. So here's the moral of it all. I will make this easy to understand and not get too deep. If the polls have a Democrat winning in the polls by 8% in one election, and they win, then have a Democrat winning in the polls by 4% in another election, and they lose in a complete 180-degree opposite way, it's good to assume that the polls would have to have a Democrat up by at least 6%, which would theoretically give them a 9% popular vote win. Then that would cause the election, electoral-wise, to be a 50-50 toss-up. Without that, it's not possible. So, as of right now, the polls have it that Trump is slightly up on the popular in a very close, narrow polls percentage aggregator. So this is showing Trump actually not only could win the election, but maybe even the popular vote also. So as I promised, here is the path to victory right here, showing you. This right here is an election map, and most of it is pretty filled out already because we already know most of the states are going to vote the same way typically every year. They're either locked in red for conservative Republicans or they're locked in blue for liberal Democrats. The states that are in the tan are the states that are up as a toss-up for this election. How this is going to happen for the path for victory. It is undoubted that there's probably a 90% chance because of how far Trump is ahead and how these particular states that I'm getting ready to name vote. It is going to end up this way for Trump. And it goes like this. North Carolina is undoubtedly going to be red. Georgia is undoubtedly going to be red. And Arizona is undoubtedly going to be red out of those 7 toss-up swing states. That right there, as you see, puts Trump at 262. You only need 270 to win. There are high talks and a lot of talks that Trump is going to get Pennsylvania, okay? And there's high talks that he's going to get Wisconsin. And there's even high talks that he can get Michigan as well. Nevada is also extremely close. So with guaranteed to get Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, most poll aggregates are doing interviews saying that there's no way Kamala gets any of those states. We're already at 262, and Trump would just need one state in order to take the presidency. He doesn't even need Pennsylvania. He doesn't even need Nevada. All he would need is just one more state to get over the 270 mark to win the election. And he could do it in multiple ways. Okay? The way that I'm showing you here is basically Trump has won and is going to win. I think the states that he could lose, just for figuratively speaking and just for fun, let's look at actually how this would go over 300. Trump could lose Nevada razor thin, okay? Trump, in my eyes, gets Pennsylvania. And Trump, in my eyes, gets Wisconsin and or Michigan, one out of the two, but I believe a higher chance in Wisconsin. That right there gets him 291, just about 300. And let's say from there, he loses Michigan. Well, 291 to 247. But I think if he gets Wisconsin, high probability that he sneaks by with Michigan as well. And as far as they're showing, he could get Nevada. 312 is pretty ambitious, but I think he gets somewhere between 291 and 306. So that's what I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Again, I'm Mr. Rembrandt, and this is Mr. Rembrandt. See you on the next video.